And good morning, everyone. Today's episode is episode 9 of Space Engineers Noob to Master Road to 10,000 Hours. And I am your host and editor and a lot of other things, Marduk. Yep, that's an intro, I think. I don't know. Anyways, today's episode, just gonna do some building. First, I'm gonna focus the video on building. I'm gonna get the solar panel done today, or at least the first iteration of it. Whether or not that's the final design, I think will be after the first road trip with the mobile refinery in tow. Because I kind of like how it looks, but once you see it yourself, you may go, something about that doesn't quite feel right. But we'll get there. I'll see you then. Alright, so I'm trying to finish up the rotor for the solar sail. When I kind of realize I'm out of iron to make more of the large steel tubes. And so, once I confirm that I do want to make that 3x3 hinge, I need to go get some iron. Come over here to the lovely trade station, and they ain't got none. Nope. No iron for sale. I check this thing multiple times a day, basically, and whenever they've got iron or something that is really useful and obvious, I go ahead and grab that, but they don't always have it, which is alright. But it means I'm going to have to go make a run for iron, mining run. I'm not going to show it. I've done it a couple of times with the Thunder, and I'm not just trying to farm your time, basically. So, I'm going to cut to after that whole thing. We'll get started on the solar sail. Alright, so, slight issue. I'm trying to run all of this off of the wind turbines, and it's really starting to take a toll on the batteries. They're dropping pretty fast. And if I don't get this solar sail rocking, I could run out of power, or I'd have to shut everything down and slow to a crawl processing-wise, which would suck. So, but I am building up fuel, which is good. It's just not very much fuel. So, I'm definitely going to need to set the mobile refinery up so that it can fuel off of the recharging station. Because the little guys are just not doing that much. Alright. Should have enough components to go ahead and build the hinge and get this party started. So my thoughts when I put this down is that I wanted the rotor to give me 360 degrees of that. What would you even call that? 360 degrees of rotation, and then I wanted the hinge to give me that 180, so I could get this sort of can't think if it's semi or hemi, but sort of like if you took a sphere, I could get any direction, cut it in half, and then I could use the solar panels to chase the sun, whatever time of day it is. And I also want it to be able to, I want to try to use timers to get it so that I can click a timer and it'll lift the sail up and open it up, or press a timer, it'll close the sail and then put it down. And I haven't quite figured out how to do the closing bit. I think the opening bit will be very simple, but getting it to close, because it's at some different direction. And the AC kicked on. Hold on a sec. So closing it is going to be the problem to program. Alright, we're going to toss on some solar panels, see how this looks. Now I need to get 20 of these suckers on here to get my 800 kilowatts of power. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw on 4 of them and see kind of how that fits. And it's large. 4 panels. 4 out of 20. 1/5 of it. It's just kind of big. Yeah. But here's what I can do. I can move this thing around pretty nicely. It's just huge. It's huge. It makes the vehicle look awkward. Did anyone ever see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 2? I think it was actually called Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. I'm starting to realize why this whole thing looks awkward to me. It reminds me of the vehicle that Wayne Selinsky built, because he built this kind of what was it? It was like a family van. Oh man, those things used to be popular back in the 90s. They were. It was sort of like a mix between a van and an RV. But he had one of these, and it was a ugly steel gray, and he had solar panels along the side. I mean, I'm talking about a fictional character here. The art team or whatever that put it together, they did a fantastic job, because that thing was hideous. And that's how I feel about what I'm doing here, is that I'm just being absurd, and this is a hideous design. And I'm kind of because I'm low power, I'm starting to freak out a little bit and go, oh my gosh, how much power do I have? Now, when these things are running in good wind, yeah, they get 400 kilowatts a pop. There's like 6 or 7 of them, 8 of them. If they're doing 450, 450 times 8 is, what is that? 400 for the 50, and then, so 3.6 megawatts, 3,600 kilowatts. That sounds about right. 450 times 8. Alright, so old me did a little bit of thinking, and he kind of figured out what he wanted to do for this. Not that either one of us really like it. So we're going to have the solar panels fold in. So if this pattern right now gives me four solar panels. If I take it all the way up to 5, so I add 3 more on this main array, then I'll basically have 2 columns of 5 solar panels. And then I can attach some I can attach two more with extra hinges. I go through this little phase about, well, why don't I stack it almost like like folding a piece of paper, and then I go, that's way too many hinges. You can do that, but that many hinges is not going to be stable. And the whole point of this vehicle is to have it be pretty sturdy, pretty stable, so that I can take it over pretty rugged terrain. You know, driving around the Twin Peaks, walking around the Twin Peaks, this area is pretty rough. And so I'm going to need a vehicle that can kind of handle itself. So I don't want to make this too crazy. Of course, I haven't driven it yet, so we'll see what happens when we get around to that. Because I suspect that these hinges that I'm going to be putting on here so that I can fold the solar array or solar sail, however I say it in the moment, I think those might be a little temperamental. I mean, the timing blocks don't have every possible thing you could want. I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. When you go onto a timing block and you look at the options for how you can command the various blocks, there's not every single option in the world. I'll explain more of it when I get there. But I should be able to close the array from the sides and then hit the lock. Oh, I got a little Fido action. I'm getting better. I'm starting to handle when these guys show up. They're not surprising when they come in the sunlight. They're very obviously a nice giant gray thing on the blue. But it was just the one, if memory serves. Yeah, I was a little surprised, a little taken aback. All right, back to making this solar sail. I just need to pick one in my head, but I keep on flipping, and then I keep on including both, which is not the greatest plan. So I'm gonna have the little hinges on the side that'll allow me to fold in the two solar panels once I actually lay it down. Yeah, and I can't build the hinges directly off of the solar panels, which was weird. But that's probably a good thing, because if I had them right on, oh, I'm looking at it in this post, and I'm like, does that actually fold flat? I don't know if it does. It should just go, oh man, that only has 90 degrees articulation. I may have to do a redesign when I get back in. Huh. The more you know. Ugh. Well, at least now I've learned. Because I don't remember. Yeah. I only folded a little bit to show that I could kind of fold it, but I just mentally assumed that that was going to be enough to fold it flat. But now that I'm looking at it, it's only going to get 90 degrees of forward folding. It's not going to get that full 180 degrees to go flat. Holy smokes. Well, looks like I got something to fix. But I guess this will kind of work for now. So in my head, I'd been looking at this and going, yeah, see that? That'll fold flat. But now that I'm looking at it in post, I'm like, oh crap, that's not going to work. But at least I do get enough, to power up my H2O generator so that my wind turbines can focus on the large H2O generator and helping power my batteries. Yeah, see, that's not gonna sit right. Oh, jeez. Which means I'm going to have to do another hinge configuration. While doing this, I was having a minor problem with the hinges where I always have this problem because I don't know the facing on hinges. I don't know what the front face is or what the back face is, because the way Space Engineers does its hinges and its rotors is all a little convoluted, because you do have the 360 degrees on your on like your rotor, but it goes like positive negative. Well, on your hinges it has positive 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees, and you set your velocity, your RPMs, uh, based on that. So you get a direction, which is a little frustrating because it doesn't tell you where the face is. Like, I would much rather just have it be 180 degrees with none of this shenanigans about where the zero mark is, except that the zero mark is the front face. I mean, that's how I would prefer it, but that is not my yeah, I'm just looking at this design going, you ridiculous person, you completely messed it up and you didn't even notice. Didn't even notice for at least 2-3 days. So I think this is, we're in episode 10. Yeah, episode 10 and 11. So I didn't notice for like 2 days, and then I've only noticed in post. Well, you live and you learn, and sometimes it gets to be funny. But back to what I was saying about these hinges. It makes it difficult to find the front face of a hinge because the hinges don't have that easy directionality. They have this back and forth so that you can have a positive, negative directionality. Oh, and if you had these things set up so they operated off of a 0 to 180, 0 being the very front of the hinge rather than straight up on the hinge, I think it would be easier to work with hinges in a lot of ways, because I have to go back and forth and break it down in order to figure out, okay, is this actually facing the right direction? So when I put in the velocity here, okay, it's coming forward. I put in a positive velocity and it goes backwards. See? And it's I'm trying to think, would there be, why do it this way? I mean, I think it's a programming issue rather than like a logic issue. Because logically, I just don't like that, how that works. Now I gotta try it again. Alright. Yep, and maybe that double hash mark, maybe that's supposed to be the rear, because it's still not going to go in the right direction. Huh. Well, let's see. I've rarely ever looked at those two little hash marks. Not the one on the block, the one on the thing. Oh, they're not there. Oh, I think I figured out how to tell the face of the hinges. Nice. See, learning so much in post. Because when I'm gaming, I'm just going, and then here in post, I'm like, oh man, I'm seeing so many problems. Oh, but hey, that's the noob to master. You gotta learn. Never stop learning. Yeah, that is so not gonna fold flat. Oh my god. That is hysterical to me. Alright. Yeah. But that's pretty much gonna be the rest of this episode. It's just me filling out the solar panels and then can't remember what I have set up for. Oh, for 11, I have just building out the base of the vehicle. Um, yeah, and then that's basically all I got for now. I'm gonna have to redesign the solar panel, but that'll be in episode 12, which should be Monday's episode. So I will see you all for Friday's episode. Cheers, people. Oh, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, comment in the on the video about how ridiculous I am to think that that 90-degree hinge was actually gonna fold flat like a book. Oh man, so ridiculous. Uh, see you guys next time.